on this computer. And then I'm gonna go up here and let it know that I got that. All right. So welcome everyone. If you are logging on with us via YouTube, my name's Aron. I'm the program coordinator for Project SOAR. This is part of our Project SOAR Fit online, so welcome. I'm glad you could join us. We're going to be doing an adaptive full body workout. This is good for anyone. I'll try to give options for people who might want to have some different variations. I've got one person on with me live. So Sean, if you need anything, let me know and we can change something up. And then if anyone else logs on, I'll do the same thing for them. And if you're watching this recorded and you want some feedback or you need, some ideas of something different to do, just reach out to me and we can work together to make all these workouts work for everybody. And even though this is made for everybody, if you are signed up for the ski trip, I've also included specific exercises to get us ready for our day on the mountain. So we're really going to be thinking a lot about core strength and about using our hip movements so that we can ski down the mountain. And let's go ahead and begin. If you haven't already done a little warm up, we'll do a really quick, 2-minute one just to get our blood pumping, and then we'll do some dynamic stretching, and then we'll get into the workout proper. It's always a great idea before you log on for this, if you can just do maybe 10 minutes of stuff to get your blood pumping. Go for a walk, jump some rope, go on a rowing machine or a bike, just whatever that means for you, just something to get up and moving, especially if you've been sitting at your job or, for recreation or whatever. Just get up and moving before we get started. So like I said, we'll do 2 minutes of that just in case you haven't had the opportunity to do it on your own. I'm going to do 30 seconds of jogging in place, 30 seconds of jumping jacks, 30 seconds of high knees, and 30 seconds of squats. And you can do those with me, or you can modify. If you don't want to run, you can walk. If you don't want to do jumping jacks, I'll show you an alternative. So always lots of things you can do. And let's start that first 30 seconds in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And like I said, we'll just do 30 seconds of a couple different movements just to get the blood pumping. And like I said, if you don't want to run, you can walk. I'm gonna run. We're halfway through the first 30 seconds. And also, I'm not playing music because I don't want to skew the sound. I want you to be able to hear me, but if you like working out to music, feel free to play your own. And that was the first 30 seconds. Let's move on to jumping jacks. So you can do old-fashioned jumping jacks just like this. If you don't want to do that much hopping, you can keep it low impact and go to one side and then the other. And if using your arm all the way up presents as any challenges, just go as far as you're able to without pain. This is a good chance while we're warming up to get an idea of kind of what's going on with you today. All right, that was 30 seconds of jumping jacks. We're gonna go on to high knees. I'm gonna lift mine up and try to tap my hand. You can do whatever variation works for you. This is also one that you can do seated. So if you are practicing or working out seated today, or just want a moment to get seated, feel free to. All right, last one, we're gonna do squats. You can have your hands in front of you or on your hips. And again, just starting out, just feeling some movement, getting the blood pumping. If you feel a little more energetic and you want to do some hopping, you could do a little hop there. I'm not going to do that right now. Those two were enough for me. I'm going to keep it right there. My knees were like, hello, you don't need to do that. All right. So our blood should be pumping, our heart rate should be up a little bit. And now that we're warm, we can do some movements, again, just to kind of get our joints moving, lubricated before we really start the workout. We're going to keep it with squats for this first part, and we'll change the angle. So we'll start with our feet pretty narrow, maybe even touching, and come down into a squat. And again, your range of motion, trying to keep your chest lifted. You can keep your hands up or you can keep them on your hip. I think we'll do 5. So I just did 3, I think. 4 and 5. And then we'll just take it a little bit wider, maybe about hip or shoulder distance apart, and do the same thing. We'll just do 5. Try to keep the body upright, pressing through the heels as we come up. I think that's 3, 4, and 5. And then one last set of 5, taking it out even wider, letting the toes open up wider than the heels. And we'll lower down and come up, really pressing through the heels when we come up to squeeze that seat. 3, 4, and last one, 5. And then continuing just that idea of warming everything up, we're going to do side steps. So step together, and then switch. And if you've got more room, you can go back and forth a little farther. I'm going to keep it right here so that I stay in the frame of the camera. If you want to make this a little more energetic, you can come down a little lower and kind of add a little squat into that. And then let's come back one more time to the start. And we will move on to some hip rotation. So just getting that movement in the hips, making a big circle. We'll do 5 in one direction and 5 in the other. So this is 3, 4, and 5. And then let's switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're gonna get a little bit more range of motion through our hips with some leg swings. I like to use something to help me balance here. You could use a wall or a table. I'm gonna use this back of the chair. We don't have to lean on it, but just something to touch, just to steady yourself. I'm going to put my weight in my left foot and extend my right foot up and then swing it behind me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's bring it back in front, just in front of the other leg, and then we'll go side to side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we'll do the same thing on the other leg. I'm going to move my chair, shift my weight to my right foot, and same thing, kick that leg out in front and then swing it back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring that foot back in front and we'll go side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. And then I'm going to move this back out of my way. And let's do some rotation through the upper body. So just getting some movement in the spine, side to side. You can let your arms go loose. I'm not counting these.
Jellyfish.
Not enough. And then last thing, just to sort of get everything limbered up before we start doing our workout, we'll do a side bend. So you can keep your hands at your side. You can swing one arm up and over, or you could interlace your fingers. So whatever feels best for you. Let's take a couple of breaths here. And then inhale, we'll come back to the center and then take it to the other side and take a few breaths here. And then let's come back to the middle, shake it out again. That's all the warming up I'm going to have us do and stretching. If you feel like you need more, again, if you're watching this on the recording, you can always pause and do something else and then restart. Everything that we do together can be done with just body weight and nothing else. You don't need any equipment. However, if you want to use some equipment, I may occasionally bring in a hand weight or two, or if you have a kettlebell, that might work for some of these. And then also something like a stretch band. And if you want some of these to use during your workout, again, just reach out to me and let me know. We have some of these at Access of Wilmington that we can share with you since you're part of the program. So if you want some of these to just add a little extra intensity to your workout, just let me know. So we're going to do 3 rounds of exercises, and we'll do the same thing each round. So the first round, or each round, we'll do some squats with some pulses, some standing leg lifts, some mountain climbers, abdominal flutter kicks. I know we all miss those. Some planks, side planks, side lying kind of clam lifts, and then with an extension. And then once we finish that, we get a little break, and then we do it all over again. And like I said, we'll do it 3 times. So if you need to grab anything like bands or weights or water, go ahead and grab that now. I'm going to head and get ready to do some squats. So like I said, you can do these body weight only. I am going to grab a hand weight. I'm going to hold it like a goblet. For these squats, I'm going to take feet out wider than shoulder length and let the toes open wider than heels. And I'm going to try to keep my body upright. So we're not leaning over and pushing way out. We're going to try to stay upright, pull the shoulder blades down the back, keep the chest lifted. And then we'll bend the knees. If you feel like you need to take your feet out wider, go ahead. And then press through the heels, squeeze the seat, come on up, all the way up. And then we'll do that 10 times. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one all the way. And then we'll come back down into that squat, but this time we're not going to come all the way up. We're going to pulse it. So come about halfway up and then down. 1, 2, 3, only 5 of these. 4, one more. 5, and now press it all the way up. Great job. All right. And then here we'll do the standing side leg lifts. So for this, again, you don't need anything extra, but if you want to use something like an exercise band, you can put it just above your thighs. Some people like to put it lower. I'm going to do it here today. And we'll stand and put weight in one leg, and we'll do all one side and then switch and do all of the other. And we're going to do a set of 10 on each. So weights in my left foot. I'm going to raise my right leg out to the side. 1, 2, really squeezing that gluteus medius, so that top part of the seat on the outside there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's going to come really handy if you are going to be skiing on the mountain, because we'll use that when we're going side to side. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Put the weight in the right foot, and then we'll lift the left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Moving on to mountain climbers, and I'm going to give a couple options here. So you can do a mountain climber standing, and for that, you're going to raise this knee and this hand, and then you'll switch, and then you'll switch. And with good form, trying to do as many repetitions as you can and say, let's do 30 seconds. An alternative is you can do a mountain climber from a push-up position, pulling one knee in and one knee in, and that's 1. If you choose to do this, make sure your shoulders are right over your wrists, not back here, and that your hips are low, not doing that pike, because then you won't be using your core if your hips are piked up. So let's start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your choice of mountain climbers for 30 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. All right. Well, if you're standing, you can go ahead and come down to the floor. I'm already down here. And let's move on to those flutter kicks. So most of us have done these before. We'll come onto our back, raise our legs up in the air. And I want you to think about really pressing the low back down. And to do that, you have to pull the belly button back towards the spine. That's going to protect your low back as we come into this. Another thing you can do, if it makes that alignment easier for you, and it does for me, is to maybe put your hands right under your seat just to help press the low back down. And then we'll lower one leg and then switch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. Now we're going to flip it over and do a plank. So again, we talked before about lots of options for planks. You can stay on your knees, you can go to your toes, you can do an extended arm plank or a forearm plank. I'm going to do a forearm plank. So choose your plank. We're going to do this for 30 seconds. We'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Again, we really want to engage the muscles of our abdomen. So pulling up and in, whichever variation we're in. Trying to keep good alignment from our shoulders to our hips to our knees. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a little break, a little stretch. We're going to stay here on the floor and do some side planks. Again, there's lots of options. You can stay in that extended arm, keeping your shoulder right over your wrist. I'm going to keep it on my forearm, but that same alignment applies shoulder over elbow. You can take a foot in front to lift up, or a foot in front of the other one to lift up, or you can stack. So find what works best for you. And if none of these options work, again, just reach out to me and we'll find what works best for you. Let's start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lift. And we're doing 30 seconds again. If you need to take a break, if 30 seconds is more than where you're at right now, that's fine. Come down, come back up when you're ready. And we'll build from wherever you are. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. And we're going to take this over to the other side. Go ahead and get yourself situated. We'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift. Ten more seconds on this side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's it. Great job. We're at one more set of exercises to do this round, then we'll get a little break before we start the next round. So let's stay on the ground, stay on that first side. You can either rest your head on your arm, or you can bend your elbow and rest your head in your hand. And then we'll bend the knees and kind of bring them in front of us. And this is kind of a combination. So lifting the knee and the foot up, and then extend through the heel to extend the leg out long. So you're flexing your toes towards your knee. And then bend the knee, and then come back down. And that's one. And then we're gonna have a little extra at the end after we've done 10 of these. So extend, bend, lower, that's 2. Lift, extend, bend, lower, that's 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and let's not bend that knee yet. Let's keep that leg extended. Here's those little pulses, leading with the heel. So imagine you're trying to turn your toe to the ground. Let's lift that heel a little higher. That's 1, 2, pulse it out. 3, 4, we only have to do 5, one more. 5, then we bend the knee and lower that back down. I can already feel that burn. That was round 1. Let's take it to the other side. Get that burn equal to both sides. And we lift, extend, bend, lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This time let's extend, hold, really extend through that heel. Maybe imagine that you're turning those toes ever so slightly to the ground, and then let's pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then bend, and then lower. Great job. That's the end of round 1. Feel free to get a drink of water, stretch, rest, whatever you need to do for about the next minute. So we got a minute. And again, if you're watching this recorded and you need more than time than that, feel free to pause this and come back when you're ready.
Always those pulses.
It's always those pulses. That's what gets you.
Mm-hmm.
We're all fine until those pulses. All right, we're about halfway through that rest. We have 30 more seconds, and then we're going to get started again. And we're going to start with those squats. All right, I'm going to get into place because we're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're gonna go ahead and start those squats now. We're gonna do 10, and then those last 5 are those pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then let's drop right back down and pulse it out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way up. Great job, even with those pulses. And then let's do those standing leg lifts. Again, with or without body band. We'll do 10 on one side and then 10 on the other. I'm going to start by lifting my right leg. So shifting weight to the left and then lift. And again, thinking about leading with that heel. If you turn the toes ever so slightly inward, it allows you to really target that gluteus medius. I think that was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we'll switch to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great job. From here, we're going to move on to those mountain climbers. We'll have 30 seconds for the mountain climbers. And again, you can do these standing and do opposite arm as leg. There we go. Or you can come down and come into a plank and pull the knees in. I'm going to do the plank. Choose what works best for you. We'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Try to keep good form. Really engage those abdominal muscles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Take a little breath. We're going to move on. We're still going to be thinking about that core strength, but we're flipping it over onto our back to do those flutter kicks. See if you can get that core engagement, really pulling the belly in and down to press the low back onto the floor and keep it there, even as you lower down one leg and then switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great job. You can hug those knees and give that low back a little massage if you want. We're going to keep working on that core strength in our plank. So let's bring it on over. And again, we'll time these. We'll try to go for 30 seconds, keeping that core engaged the whole 30 seconds, whatever variation that you're in. And let's start in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Five, 4, you almost got this. 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Getting set up for those side planks. You can do what you did last round, or if you want to do a different variation, remember you can change it up, listening to where you feel like your body is right now. You can do something that's a little more challenging or something that's a little less challenging. You can dial this in to suit where you are right now in this moment. Let's start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift. Ten more seconds. 5, 4, see if you can lift that hip higher, and let it go. And then we'll switch to the other side. Getting yourself in position. We'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. All right. We are almost finished. We're going to do those side lying clam with leg extensions, including that 5 pulse at the end. So
Yay.
let's come on to that first side again and get ourselves set up. And we'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift, extend, bend, lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This time, when we extend, let's hold it out there. Do those 5 pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend and lower. Let's repeat that on the other side so that we're even. Start in a couple more seconds. Really see if you can get your hips stacked one over the other and keep all the movement in the hip and the leg. So we're not rocking the body. We're lifting and extending. That's all happening in the lower body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, feeling it this time. 8, 9. This time when we extend, let's hold and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knee, lower that back down. We are all done with round 2. We got another break. Let's take another minute. Remember, if you need more time, take more time. Get your drink of water, use the facilities, whatever you need to do to get ready for our third and final round.
I'm gonna grab some water, Aaron. I'll be right back.
Okay. We're about halfway through that break. All right, and it's been about a minute. So I'm gonna get set up with those squats again. I think I've still got enough juice left to use the weight one more time. But this is your choice. We'll see. All right. We'll do 10 and then 5 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's take it down to those pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, all the way up. And let's move on to those side standing leg lifts. Shifting weight to the left. I'm going to start on my right and extend and lift for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, 10. And we'll switch to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, great job. Moving on to mountain climbers, either the standing position like mountain climbers or that push-up position, whichever works best for you today. If you do come into that push-up position, again, make sure you bring your shoulders right over your wrist to protect your shoulders and drop your hips in line with your shoulders so that you can engage your core. And then let's start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Almost done. 2, 1, and that's it. If you're not already down on the ground, go ahead and join me down here. We're gonna keep working on that core strength with some flutter kicks. Pressing the low back to the ground, drawing the navel in. Let's go ahead and kick this out for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Hug it in for a moment. Give yourself a little break. This is our last round. We're going to come into the plank next. So we're flipping it right back over and sticking with that core strength. Find your plank. And we'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ten more seconds, you can do it. Keep that good alignment. Hold the navel in for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Take a little break. We're going to take that to work on our oblique strength. So we're going to come into those side planks. Remember, you've got options here too. You can choose a different option or stick with the same one you've been doing. And let's start in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift it up. We're gonna try to hold this for 30 seconds. You can do it. We're already halfway through. Lift a little higher for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Let's take it to the other side. Get ourselves set up. Let's start in 3, 2, 1, and lift. Already halfway through. This is our last one. Try to lift just a little higher for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All done. Let's come back over for our last set of exercises before we cool down and stretch. We're coming back to those leg lifts and extensions. All right, getting everything set up. Start in about 5 more seconds. And we're going to do 10 with those 5 pulses at the end. All right, let's go ahead and start so that we can finish this up. We'll do a lift, extend through the heel, bend, and lower. That's 1. 2. Trying to keep the body steady. This is all coming from the leg and the hip. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This time let's lift and extend and hold for those pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, that burns. Let's bend and lower back down. Give that hip a little tap. We'll switch over to the other side. Getting into a good position here. Hips are stacked, so we're not leaning back or forward. Our right hip, or whatever our top hip is right on top of the bottom hip. And let's lift, extend, bend, and lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Go ahead and lift, extend. Let's hold here for those 5 pulses and lift for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and bend, lower. We are all done. If you need a little break, go ahead and take a little break. Again, get a drink of water, stay hydrated. Next up is our stretch and cool down. This is important, so we're not going to skip this. This is going to keep it so that we're able to continue to work out tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So the stretching and the recovery is really an important part of our training. So we're going to start with a quad stretch, stretching the front part of the thigh. There's a few different ways to do this. I'll show you a couple different ones. One is to actually use a wall or a couch or something like that. And you put the back of your foot up against the wall or the couch and your knee is down, and you use that to create a little tension to stretch out that muscle. That's a little much for my knee. I'm not going to stay in that. You can also do these standing. Use a little support if you want. Reach back, grab the foot, and pull it towards your seat. And then, of course, you can do the same thing on the ground, lying on one side. So you pick what you think allows you to get the stretch in the best way for you. You just want to feel that in the front of the thigh, maybe a little bit in that hip flexor. If you're not able to touch your foot like this, you could use a belt. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can be belt from an old robe or something like that, and hook it on the top of your foot and then hold on to the ends. I think we've been on this side for about 30 seconds or more. Let's switch and take it to the other side. So whichever of those variations you're in, let's just take it to the other side. I'm going to stay here on the floor for this one. Whatever variation you're in, see if you can resist that urge that we have to sort of collapse the chest in. See if you can draw your shoulder blade back and let the chest open. So that way the whole front of the body is getting a stretch while we're stretching that quad. And don't forget to breathe. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Maybe one more. Then we can let go. And let's move on. We'll do an ankle stretch. Might be kind of hard to see since my wall is at the back of the shot. But what I'm trying to do is put the toe of my foot, the ball of my foot up against the wall, or in my case, the baseboard. And then I'm going to turn and face the wall and sort of lean into it to get a stretch in my Achilles tendon, the bottom of my foot, and maybe even a little bit in that calf. Now for me, this is really intense because I have a tight Achilles tendon. You may not feel it as much depending on where your body holds on to tension. One more breath here, and then we'll switch sides. If you don't like how this one feels, if this isn't really working for you, you could, I mentioned that idea of a belt before. You could even use a belt on the ball of your foot and use that to pull the ball of your foot back towards you. You could do that seated on a chair. You can do that with your leg extended, sitting on the floor. You could even do this laying on your back on the floor and have your leg up in the air. So lots of different ways to do this, whatever allows you to feel that stretch. Let's take another breath and then we'll switch again. And let's come into a lunge. We'll keep this up off the ground a little bit. So I'm going to step my right foot forward, left foot back. My right knee is bent. I want to keep it over the ankle for stability. If you need a chair or a wall next to you to help you keep your balance, that's a great idea. See if you can bring your shoulders right over your hip and then squeeze the front of that thigh on the back leg. That's going to help you lift the knee and then send all that energy down towards your heel. See if you can keep the chest open. So again, resist that urge of collapsing forward. See if you can let the shoulder blades slide down your back. And don't forget to breathe. Let's take one more breath. And then we're going to switch. So left foot comes forward, right foot comes back. We'll do the same thing on this side. Really thinking about squeezing the front of that back thigh. That's what going to be, so you don't have your knee dropped like this. You squeeze the front of that thigh, that's going to help you lift and then extend that through the heel. One more breath. And then let's take it back up. We're going to do some figure 4 stretches. All right. Again, lots of ways you can do this. If you have a chair, you can cross one ankle over your knee. You can also do this from your back, ankle over knee. If you want to bring your legs in closer to your chest, you could. Or you can do the reverse. You can sit up and bring your chest closer to your thighs. Just be careful, again, not to collapse if you go into this. See if you can keep the chest open. That way we have room to breathe. Take another breath on this side. And then whatever variation you're in, we're going to switch. So we'll take, in my case, the left ankle over right knee. If you started on the other side, that's fine. Just make sure you get both. Take another breath here. And then just a couple more stretches and we'll be done for the day. So I'm going to come out of this. I'm going to stay on the floor and I'm going to show you something called mermaid. So this can be, if your hips are tight, you might have to change the way that you're seated. But if you're able to follow along with this, I'm going to show you what this is. So I have my knees bent and my feet on the floor, and I'm going to take both knees to one side. In my case, I'm going to take them both over to the left, and that means my feet are over on the right. Now you can kind of stack things a little, or you can stagger them. I prefer how this feels staggered. So my knee is behind my foot. And then from here, I'm going to come into a twist. I'm going to twist towards my feet. Nice long spine. And then I'm going to twist the other way, so towards the knees. And again, if coming into this mermaid stretch or this mermaid leg position doesn't work for you, you can have your legs out in front. You can sit cross-legged, whatever works best for you. And then let's come back to the middle. If you are in this mermaid stance, we're going to take the knees to the other side. So we're going to do both sides. And if you have something where your legs were more centered, we'll just repeat what we just did. So you'll just get a second round. So we'll turn towards our feet, little spinal twist. Take a few breaths here. And then back to the middle, let's twist to the other side. Ooh, I think I got my spine to pop a little bit there. That feels good. And then final stretch, let's release. Let's take the legs out in front into the splits. You don't have to go super wide, just as long as your feet are a little wider than your shoulders. And see if, instead of letting the legs fall open, see if you can rotate through the hips so that your toes and knees and shins are all pointed up towards the sky. That can be a lot. If you need a little support with your hands behind you, you can do that, or maybe lift your seat up on a pillow. If you do bring your hands behind you, again, just avoid sort of slumping into it. See if you can draw your shoulder blades together and lift your chest. And then we're going to turn to the right leg and we're going to fold over that leg. You can still keep your hands behind you. It's not important how far you go. You just want to be able to feel some sensation, feel like you're getting a stretch in the back of the leg. If you do move your hands in front of you, they can come to your leg or the floor. If they touch your foot, that's fine, but they don't have to. And again, if you wanted to put a strap there and hold on to it, you could do that too. Let's take a couple more breaths wherever you are. You need to bend the knee a little, that's okay too. In fact, I want everyone to at least have a little tiny bend. We don't want the knees to be locked out or hyperextended. Let's come back up and we'll turn to the other leg and then do the same thing, folding over the leg. Don't forget to breathe. Think about making your spine nice and long when you inhale. And then when you exhale, see if you can pull your belly back towards your spine and see how that allows you to go a little deeper. You feel that? Let's do one more breath. And then we'll come back up. We're not done yet. We're going to go straight down the middle. So inhale, and then we're going to hinge through the hips. Again, it's not important about trying to get really far. In fact, instead of rounding through the spine, let's keep the spine long. So you may not go as far. Do you need that support? You can put your hands behind you, or they can come out to the front. And then let's release, bring our hands behind you if they're not already there. Draw the shoulder blades together, lift the chest. Little counter pose. We've done all those forward folds. Now we're open through the front a little. And then that's it, my friends. We are all done with today's workout. Let me know what you think. If you need any more stretching, feel free to take the time to get what you need stretched out, pulled down. And again, reach out to me, let me know anything that you need. I want to make sure that you're able to reach your fitness goals. So I'm willing to adapt and change what we're doing here to help you meet those goals. So thanks, and I will see you later. I'm gonna stop recording now. Maybe, here we go.